All right. Hi there, Wade with you again, and in this video we're going to talk all about tap gestures. Tap gestures are so useful and super cool and very easy to implement. Tap gestures are anytime somebody taps on a view, and you can set them to any view. You can essentially turn any view into a button, right? Now, if you have specifically a button, I suggest using the button because it already has a tap gesture built in, and it also has other like kind of unique things like hints and accessibility and things like that. But you don't have to, and I'm going to show you how to set tap gestures to any view, and we'll use text as the view of choice. Now, there's two types of tap gesture events that we can use, and let me just show you it on the starter code here, and then I will remove it and we'll start from scratch. So if you're following along, this is just a basic SwiftUI app started from scratch here. You can follow along using Mac Playgrounds or your iPad and just create a brand new SwiftUI app and you can follow right along. So here's the starter code that comes up. Let me just show you how easily it is to set up a tap gesture. So we have this text view right here, okay, hello world, and you'll see it right there, hello world. All you have to do for any view is just add the modifier on tap gesture, and you'll see they pop up. Now there's two that we care about. There's the on tap gesture with this perform, that's an action, and then you have on tap gesture, that is a count. We use the count a whole lot less, but really what it is if I click on it, what it means is the count means like how many times do they tap on it. So if you want to register like a double tap or a triple tap, you can do that by setting the count to 2 or 3. And then once they tap on that tap gesture that many times, then the on tap gesture will trigger and the code inside will fire off, okay? We don't usually use the count as much. We just use the basic one for tap gestures. So I'm going to just show you like what that looks like real quick. On tap gesture perform. And so anytime the hello world here is tapped on, the on tap gesture event will trigger and the code inside will trigger as well. So that's what we got. Let's go with a full basic example here. Let's change some color to some text. So let's delete the stack view and let's start with a state variable. We always start with state variables when it comes to these events because we want to change something and then have something be redrawn or have something be shown based on the information from the user's input. So it's a good thing to keep doing so it kind of gets in your head that that's the value of these state variables. So let's use @state variable, let's call it color change, and we'll just make it a Boolean and we'll set it to false to start out with, okay? Now in the body, let's create a text view, and again let's just use the basic hello world text that we always use for an example. Let's go ahead and set let's just set the foreground color, and we'll use this one. It's deprecating. Eventually we're going to use the style, but for now we'll just use the color. It's just easier to show. And what we'll do here is we will use another tertiary operator. So we're going to do color change. And when the color change is true, we would like the text color to be blue. And then if it's false, if color change is false, let's change it to red. Okay, cool. So right now you can see color change equals false. That's why our hello world text in preview is red. But if we just change this to true, you'll see that the hello world will change to blue. Cool, all right. Let's set it back to false for our example. And now let's go ahead and set up our tap gesture. So on the text view, all you're going to do is just do on tap gesture, and we're going to use the basic one that doesn't have a count. And then inside here, all we have to do is just change the color change Boolean from true to false, and we'll just use the toggle function for that. So you can see that it toggles the Boolean variable's value. So from true, false, true, false, true, false. So every time that we tap on the tap gesture, we're just going to change the value of color change, and since it's a state variable, the app is looking for it. Anytime that value changes, it's going to redraw the views that include that value, like the text view, because it sets it up right there. Cool. So now that I have that, that's really all I need for a tap gesture. So if I go over to Hello World and tap on it, it's now blue, because we just toggled it and it changed the color change to true, and we know that when it's true, the foreground color or the text color will be blue. Click it again, red, blue, red, blue, red. It's really that simple. In the next video, I'm going to show you the long press gesture. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.